Hi, my name's Alex. Welcome to the Beliefs Bazaar. Just like to do a little Epstein update, if you will. My previous video, which is, I think it was a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago, I suggested that we'll never see any meaningful outcome of the Epstein files. And I still think that that is true. And even though since then we've had the testimony on the steps of Congress with some of the victims of Epstein, and while I think that we will probably hear some maybe more information or newer information come out that may implicate some people in ways that we don't already suspect, I still don't think it's going to have any meaningful consequences for those involved. And the reason I think that is because whether or not it was Donald Trump, who is seen in more pictures with Jeffrey Epstein than I have pictures of myself with anybody, or even pictures of me, period, I think. And I would say that there's more pictures of those two together than I have pictures of my cats, but I know that's probably not true because my phone is full of hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures of my cats. And while hundreds of pictures of Jeffrey Epstein and Trump exist, anyway, that's a silly thing to compare to. Anyway, the point is that there's a lot of them, all right? And regardless, even if Trump wasn't involved, I still don't think this would make any significant headway, because I truly believe that the speculation that people have, and again, this is my opinion, I'm not saying this is actually true or not because I don't know for sure, but regarding Alex Acosta's previous statements and statements that have made by other government officials, I truly think that Jeffrey Epstein was involved with intelligence in some manner, and whether or not he was a direct employee or direct asset, or, maybe they outsourced things to him. Either they, government officials, including presidents and stuff. This is why I don't necessarily think that Bill Clinton was a client, as everyone thinks that there's a client list or what have you. I think that many of the people that are seen with him in pictures that are either highly placed or powerful or involved in the government were in some manner his employers, not clients, but rather they did dealings together, because Epstein was a guy who could either provide blackmail material or get people in compromising positions whereby they can be interrogated for information or some other thing, or asked to do some sort of mission, or, mission, I'm saying, for lack of a better thing, some sort of endeavor on the behalf of either the government or intelligence services. And so again, my suggestion is that at the very best, most innocent case, that the government officials and intelligence services turned a blind eye to Jeffrey Epstein's activities. And at the worst case, he was a direct asset and they outsourced all sorts of intelligence gathering or manipulation to him and the quote unquote services that he provided, which don't necessarily involve, the services he provided them are not necessarily the sex trafficking, but rather using sex trafficking to manipulate other people into providing either some sort of activity or information, or compromising them in a way that they would not be a threat to people in power. And so again, it's tragic that we're seeing all of these victims come forth and hearing their stories, which I absolutely encourage everyone to believe, because people don't just come forth willy-nilly and accuse a known sex trafficker of sex trafficking, because that's what he did. Despite how tragic these stories are and how much abuse happened, I don't think that there will be any meaningful fallout, and I don't think that anybody that's highly placed enough will suffer any consequences that we would like them to suffer, which essentially would be to put all these people in jail because they have either partaken indirectly or condoned or, been beneficiaries of this activity. I just worry that we're not going to see anything that is on the level of what we would like for it to happen. So You can disagree with me there, but again, even though we've seen all this activity and there's some rumblings within Congress, and perhaps Democrats will be forcing a vote to release the files, I think Trump has had sufficient time, or not just Trump, but anybody, the Democratic and Republican administrations have had sufficient time to either destroy or redact or manipulate this evidence in a way that nothing significant will come forth. So that's just my prediction, my opinion. You're welcome to your own. I just don't think anyone should be holding their breath for this to be the kind of revelation that we would hope. So anyway, if you'd like to check out some of my other content, I recently started my channel, so I don't have a whole lot of content on there. But my main focus for this channel is about beliefs, the nature of beliefs, humanism, and and some other topics. But all of it is kind of under this umbrella of the nature of belief and how that relates to the political arena and how people can be easily manipulated into holding a certain political position or otherwise. Because ultimately, I think that's really what it all is. These conspiracy theories that are thrown about, and the persuasive ways in which people are led to different corners of thought and ideology. I really think the kind of the whole, if you look at the whole of it, the intention is to keep us polarized or separated in different groups so that we don't unite as a people and advocate as a group for our own prosperity. We've got a lot of people that are willing to deal with a certain level of discomfort such that they can see the people that they think have humiliated them suffer. And that is really kind of tragic to me. I don't know if it's on the same level of tragedy of Jeffrey Epstein and those involved getting away with the crimes that they've partaken in, but part of the reason why we're even in this situation is because people have been so thoroughly manipulated that we collectively, not me personally, but the proverbial we, have voted for criminals to hold the highest offices of political aspiration. And those people have just used their position to enrich themselves, create more power for them and their in-group, and then also, all at the expense of us, the working people and the citizenry of this country. And so, just keep that into consideration when you think about anything that's happening these days. And please exercise your critical thinking. Thank you for watching this video.